Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel. And while you're at it, smash that like button for me. I really would appreciate it. If you want 5 free stocks, Webull is gonna give you 5 free stocks. When you open up a new Webull brokerage account, put at least 1 penny in that account. They're gonna give you 5 free stocks valued up to $9,600. So after the video, I want you to go down to the description box of the video. Click on that Webull link, open up your new Webull account today, go get that free stock and go get that free money. So guys, I made a video yesterday titled, "The Greatest Wealth Transfer Just Started." And that video did quite well. But one of the things that came from that video that I want to address today is the question of, should I be buying stocks or should I be buying ETFs or index funds? And I'm going to answer that question for you guys based on my experience. And I'm not saying that you should or shouldn't. I'm just going to give you the reason why I prefer ETFs and index funds over buying individual stocks. Now, I've said on many videos that I do buy some individual stocks, but those individual stocks represent probably about, 10 to 15% of my overall portfolio. About 5% of my portfolio is going to be made up of cryptocurrencies. And then the other 80% of my portfolio is going to be ETFs and index funds. And I would say heavily on ETFs. And I'll tell you why in a minute. So the question was, Richard, I don't know much about stocks. I'm afraid to even try it. So my answer to that question is, you don't have to be the expert. I'm not the expert. And the reason I'm not the expert is because I don't want to sit around all day trying to research individual companies. One, I don't want to do that. Two, I just don't have the experience or the knowledge to be able to know what I'm looking for, right? That's like probably most of you guys. So it was funny. I got a question on Instagram from a gentleman. He said, "Hey, I saw that video, The Greatest Wealth Transfer Just Started. And I want to ask you, what is your quantitative and qualitative steps when you're picking stocks?" And I had to chuckle when I read the question, and I responded back to him. I said, "Hey man, you got the wrong guy. I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't even know what quantitative and qualitative means when you're using it, in the same sentence as picking stocks. I have no idea, right? So I know a lot of you guys feel that way. So I want to make this video to give you 6 ETFs that I recommend you consider in lieu of purchasing individual stocks if you're not comfortable purchasing individual stocks. Because what I don't want to have happen is, guys, is you're intimidated about purchasing individual stocks. So what do? You sit on the sideline and you ignore this transfer of wealth that's just starting, right? See, the last time we had this opportunity to really go from zero wealth to a lot of wealth was back in the last recession, which was 2008. See, from 2008 to about 2020, prior to the pandemic starting, that 12-year stretch, you could have became a millionaire 2 times over, right? If you would have taken advantage of the down economy, the down stock market, when the real estate bubble bust back in 2008 and chaos broke out, right? Had you bought companies at that time that were trading at deep, deep discounts, I'm talking about well-known companies, well-known ETFs. Had you bought them at those deep discounts and you would have held them, like I said, held them through, say February 2020, because we know what happened in March 2020, the pandemic hit, and then the market tanked. But if you'd have held those companies that you were buying from 2008 all the way up to 2020, you would have increased your net worth tremendously. And that opportunity right now is happening again, right? So that's why I'm saying the greatest wealth transfer just started, right? So here's a way you can take advantage of that and start buying ETFs that, in my opinion, will give you an opportunity to take your net worth to a whole different level if you're patient. You're gonna have to hold these investments, guys, for a couple of years. You may have to hold them for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Personally, I would hold them as long as I need to hold them until I need the income to live on, right? As long as I don't need the income to live, I would just continue holding them. I'm not going to sit here, guys, and try to give you a definition of every one of these. I'm not going to go in depth on them. I'm going to ask you to go out and do a level of homework on your own, right? I'm going to give you 30,000 foot level information, but it's going to be your responsibility to take this information and then go do a little bit more investigating on your own to determine if they're the right fit for you. But if you don't want to be the expert and try to pick individual stocks, you certainly can take a look at these 6 ETFs, because you don't have to be the expert. The work has already been done and they're already been vetted. They've already have tremendous historical performance to back them up, right? And you don't have to be the expert. That's the key. Someone else has already done that work. And when I say someone else, that's Vanguard, because that's who I use when I buy my ETFs and my index funds. Now, I'm not going to be talking about index funds today. I'm just going to concentrate on ETFs. And the reason I'm concentrating on ETFs is because they trade like individual stocks, right? So if I want to buy one share of my favorite ETF, I can. With index funds, it's a little bit different. Sometimes the fund itself has a minimum buy-in. It could be $3,000, it could be $5,000, it could be $10,000, it could be $50,000. It just depends on that particular index fund. So I'm not going to talk about index funds. I'm just going to talk about the 6 ETFs that I recommend you consider if you don't want to be an expert and try and pick individual stock. Because I don't want you on the sideline and in 3 years from now, you look back on this wealth transfer and you say to yourself, I sat on the sideline because I was scared and I did not increase my net worth at all. I don't want you to look back on it and have that regret. So let's dive in. The first ETF I want to talk about, Vanguard, these are all Vanguard ETFs, is Vanguard S&P 500 VOO ETF. VOO is the ticker symbol. So if you want to go research that, just go to Vanguard, go to the search bar and type in VOO. Hit enter and it'll bring up that investment, and then you can do all the research you want to do if you want to. But the reason I like Vanguard S&P 500 VOO is because you're going to be investing your money in a fund that already has the top 500 companies in it in America. Because that particular ETF is tracking the S&P 500 index, which we all aware of that, right? The S&P 500 index. That's what this S&P 500 VOO is tracking. And like I said, you got the top 500 companies in America, right? All the big boy players are in there, guys. All the big name companies are there. You got growth companies in there. You got value companies in there. They're all there. So that's the number one I would tell you to consider. Why? Because the work is already done for you. Vanguard has already put this fund together, right? They already got the top 500 companies in America in it. So you ain't got to be picking nothing. You ain't got to be researching nothing. They've done all of that. right? So you don't have to be the expert. And you're going to be in the broader stock market because you got the top 500 companies in America across every industry, every sector. So let's move on to number 2, which is Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF, which is VTI. That's the ticker symbol, VTI. So again, you can go to Vanguard, go to the search bar, type in VTI, boop, hit enter. It's going to bring up that fund and you can do some homework, check it out, see if it's the right fit for you. But it has about 3,500 companies in that fund, right? 3,500 companies, guys, that Vanguard has picked to go in that fund. And again, just like the S&P, both of those funds have a historical track record of great performance. And that's what you want to look for. You want to look at the 1 year, the 3 year, the 5 year, the 10 years since inception and figure out, do these make sense? Do they have a rate of return historically that I believe makes sense for me and what I'm trying to get accomplished in this greatest wealth transfer? The third one we want to talk about is going to be Vanguard Consumer Discretionary VCR, right? So VCR really is a fund that has about 305 companies in the fund. Automotive industries in there. You're going to have the apparel industry. My goal here today is not to try to give you an A to Z on every one of these ETFs. My goal is to put them on your radar, and then I want you to go do your research. Again, you can go to Vanguard, type in VCR, click on the search bar. It'll bring up that fund and you can go look and see all the companies that are in it. You can see the top 10 holdings. You can look at the historical performance. But I think it's a great one to be in because why? 70% of our economy in the United States is made up of what? Consumer spending. So consumer discretionary ETF is probably not a bad one to be in. So let's move on to number 4, which is going to be Vanguard Healthcare ETF, and the ticker symbol on that one is going to be VHT, right? Again, guys, the healthcare sector is a huge one, extremely important. Why? Because here in the United States, we have an aging population. People are getting older. We have 65 million baby boomers. So what that tells me is the healthcare industry is always going to thrive, guys. It's always going to be a good idea to have some type of healthcare investment. And why not do it in this particular ETF here? Why? Because you're going to have your top healthcare companies in it. You're going to have your top pharmaceutical companies in it. You're going to have your top biomedical companies in it. Right? Companies like Johnson & Johnson is going to be in there. Pfizer is going to be in there. Merck is going to be in there. So you're going to have some big boy companies in there in that healthcare ETF, right? My question is, why wouldn't you have it? If you look at the historical track record on VHT, it's good, guys. Again, though, this is not me trying to convince you of anything. This is just me trying to put some ETFs on your radar that are going to keep you from trying to be the expert, right? The work has already been done. So let's move on to number 5, which is going to be Vanguard Information Technology VGT. Now that's an ETF. Again, you can go on to Vanguard, type in the ticker symbol, which is VGT, boom, hit the search bar, and do you some research. But again, historical performance is amazing. If you look at the fund itself, got the top 30, 40 information technology companies in there. Companies like NVIDIA, MasterCard, Visa, PayPal are in that fund. Big fund, guys. That's one of my favorite. I have invested in VGT and have done very well, right? Now, everything is down right now. All of these funds are down. They're at a discount. They're trading below where they normally trade. But this is an opportunity, guys, for you to transfer wealth, right? Transfer wealth to you by using the stock market, but not picking individual stocks, but by picking ETFs or a group of stocks or a group of companies. That's all an ETF is, guys, is a group of companies in a certain industry or sector. Like I just mentioned, VGT. See, that's a tech ETF in the tech sector. But it's a group of tech companies, not just one tech company. It's a group of them. And that's what an ETF gives you that an individual stock can't give you, right? One, you got to be the expert. One, you don't have to be the expert because the work is already done. Now, let's move on to number 6, and then I'm going to wrap this up. So the number 6 is going to be Vanguard Real Estate ETF, VNQ. I always like to throw on a real estate ETF because I believe the real estate sector is always a good sector to be able to have some of your money in, whether it be physically owning real estate or owning real estate through a investment like this, like VNQ. You don't actually own the underlying real estate, but you own a share of the fund that has these big real estate investment trusts inside of that fund. One of those companies is going to be Simon Properties Group, right? Simon Properties Group is probably the largest holder or owner of retail shopping center space in the United States. It's a huge company. Go out and do a little research on Simon Property Group. They are in that Vanguard Real Estate VNQ ETF, and along with other large real estate investment trust companies. So you get all the benefits of real estate, but you don't have to actually worry about toilets and tenants because you don't own the real estate. You just own a share in the fund that actually has these companies in that fund. So there you go, guys. Those are the 6 ETFs I would ask you to consider if you don't want to be an expert trying to pick stock. Because I don't want that to be an excuse for you to sit on the sideline doing this wealth transfer that's happening right now, right? There's a wealth transfer that's going to happen here, guys, because where the market is. And it's going to continue to go down for a little bit longer before the recovery starts. All I'm telling you is put together however much amount of money you're able to put in and start dollar cost averaging in every single month. I'm not saying you got to pick all 6 of these ETFs. You can pick one or you can pick all 6. You can dollar cost average into each one of them. And here's another quick thing. You know, you can go to Vanguard.com and open all of these and open a brokerage account, but it's going to be a little bit more cumbersome, right? It's not going to be as easy as going to Webull, like I've asked you guys to consider. Link down in the description box. So you can go to Webull, open up a Webull account just like that, fund it, and then you can buy all 6 of these ETFs. Even though they're Vanguard ETFs, you can buy them on the Webull platform. And the reason I like that method better is because it's just easier and simpler to use. The app is, right? Now, if you're someone who's going to want to ask a bunch of questions and need help to figure all of this out, then Vanguard is probably the right platform to open these accounts on. Now, I'm not saying Vanguard is going to hold your hand through the whole process, but I do know they have a customer service team that can help you because they've helped me before. Because again, I have a Vanguard account, but I also have a Webull account. I use my Webull account more than I use the Vanguard account because the Webull account is much easier to use. Once you make that first trade on Webull, then you're going to know how to make every other trade going forward. So the link to that Webull account is in the description box of the video. So go click on that link, open your Webull account, and then boom, you're ready to go. You can start buying the one or all 6 of these ETFs I just talked about. Again, guys, this is not me giving you financial advice. This is me responding to some questions in the comment box of my last video. People saying, hey, I'm intimidated by trying to pick individual stocks because I don't think I have enough knowledge. I don't know enough about these companies. I don't want all my money in one company. So that's why I made this video, because you don't have to be the expert. You don't have to have your money into one company. You can go and look at these 6 ETFs where you're going to have a basket of companies in all 6 of these different sectors, right? It's not going to be just one company in there. Like I said, the S&P has 500 companies in it. Total stock market has 3,500 companies in it. Consumer discretionary has over 300 companies in it. So all I'm saying is you want to be, 1, you don't want to be the expert. 2, you want to be diversified. And I think these 6 ETFs give you that. So drop me some comments. Let me know what you think about these 6 Vanguard ETFs. And let me know if you're going to try them out. Be curious to know. Again, if you want those 5 free stocks from Webull, click on the link down in the description box. Open up that new Webull account today. Go get that free stock. Go get that free money. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing, share the video, smash the like button. Thoughts become things. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. You guys keep chasing your greatness. Never stop believing in yourself. And I'm going to catch you on the next video. Peace. Today's video is sponsored by my company, RF Financial Consulting. And in my company, I work with individuals just like you through financial mentoring and coaching sessions. And in those 1-hour sessions, we talk about strategies to help you get to your financial freedom, whether it be through real estate investing, stock market investing, creating additional streams of income, credit card arbitrage, or starting and growing a business. If that's something that you might be interested in, there's an email address in the description box of the video. Send me an email and let's discuss if I'm the right fit for you.